Stop chasing the fantasy. Do the easy thing that actually works. Most of us have been there. You wake up one day, energized by the idea that today will be different. You make a list of ambitious goals. Wake up at 5 a.m., run 5 miles, meditate for 30 minutes, eat clean, read a full chapter of a business book, and maybe throw in a gratitude journal entry for good measure. It feels empowering to write it all down. But by midday, you've hit snooze multiple times, skipped breakfast, maybe opened your phone to scroll for just 5 minutes, and now you're trapped in a cycle of guilt and inertia. Sound familiar? That's because it is. We all want to change. We all crave transformation, whether it's more success, more peace, or a deeper sense of purpose. But what we often don't realize is that we're setting ourselves up for failure by constantly reaching for fantasy instead of focusing on execution. We chase what looks impressive instead of what's actually possible. We choose the massive leap instead of the manageable inch. And in doing so, we repeatedly fall into the same trap. In today's culture of hustle and hyper-productivity, where live your best life is plastered all over social media, it's easy to believe that meaningful change must come in the form of big, bold moves. That if you're not doing something drastic, something that would make it into a highlight reel, then you're not really improving. But that belief is not only false, it's deeply damaging. The truth, the one you won't see in viral Instagram quotes, is that success comes from boring, repeatable, doable actions. Not from grand declarations, but from consistent choices. Take something as simple as waking up earlier. We all know it's beneficial. It gives you more time, reduces stress, and creates a sense of control over your day. But instead of easing into it, most people attempt a total lifestyle overhaul. They go to bed at 1 a.m. and set their alarm for 5 a.m., thinking sheer willpower will bridge the gap. It doesn't. They fail, blame their discipline, and often give up. The problem isn't motivation or self-control. It's faulty strategy. What if, instead of trying to change overnight, you simply went to bed 1 minute earlier tonight? What if you woke up just 1 minute earlier tomorrow? That tiny shift may feel insignificant, but that's exactly why it works. It doesn't require a battle with your body or your brain. It's manageable, and more importantly, it's repeatable. Do it for a month and you've gained 30 minutes. Do it for 3 months and you've reshaped your entire morning routine without burning out. This idea applies to more than just sleep. Think about peace. Everyone wants it. We crave calm, presence, clarity. So we buy books on mindfulness, download meditation apps, and fantasize about silent retreats. But our approach, once again, is steeped in fantasy. We say we'll start meditating for 45 minutes daily or go on a digital detox weekend. But the first day we feel overwhelmed, we drop it entirely. Why? Because the goal was too big. Peace isn't a performance, it's a practice. And that practice can begin with something as simple as 10 seconds of stillness. No music, no guided app, just you and your breath. 10 seconds today, 20 tomorrow, 2 minutes by the end of the week. And before you know it, you're not just someone who wants peace, you're someone who lives it, because you made it a habit. So why do we resist the easy path? Because our ego wants the dramatic. We want to feel like we're doing something important, not just something that works. 1-minute meditations feel too small. 10-second breathing exercises feel silly. Reading 1 page feels lazy. But here's the truth. Most people fail not because they're incapable, but because they try to change too much, too quickly. Meanwhile, the people who choose small, achievable actions slowly build a foundation that becomes unshakable. That's the difference between chasing transformation and actually living it. Let's go deeper. Many people struggle with the idea of purpose. They say they lack motivation or they don't know what they're meant to do. They wait for a lightning bolt of clarity, some sudden burst of inspiration that tells them what path to follow. But waiting doesn't reveal your purpose. Doing does. And it doesn't have to be life-changing. It could be as small as learning 1 chord on a guitar if you love music, reading 3 pages of a forgotten book if you love stories, or taking a walk in the park if you love nature. These tiny actions are like breadcrumbs leading you home. They help you remember what makes you feel alive. And when you stack those moments together, they create a life with direction. Not because you planned it all out, but because you acted on what I call the 1-inch rule. It's a mindset and a strategy wrapped into one. The idea is simple. If the next step in your journey feels like an inch rather than a mile, if it feels so doable that it's almost laughable, then you're on the right track. Why? Because change isn't about dramatic leaps. It's about steady, consistent movement in a clear direction. Inch by inch, real transformation happens quietly and powerfully. Let's say you want to be healthier. You don't need to sign up for a boot camp or commit to an intense 90-day fitness challenge right out of the gate. Start with something small and approachable, like doing 5 push-ups. That's it, 5. It might not feel like much, but it's the seed of a habit. Tomorrow you might do 6, next week maybe 10, but you'll only get there if you start with 5. Want to improve your sleep? You don't need to dive into a complex nighttime routine with supplements, sleep trackers, and weighted blankets. Just try turning off your screens 30 minutes earlier tonight. No apps, no noise. Just give your brain a little more quiet time before bed. That single shift can have a ripple effect on the quality of your rest. What if you're trying to be more creative? You don't need to write a novel or paint a masterpiece. Write 50 words. They don't have to be perfect. They don't even have to be good. Just show up for the practice. Creativity isn't built in marathons. It's built in minutes, repeated often. Feeling disconnected from others? Instead of worrying about your social life as a whole, send one thoughtful text. A simple, "Hey, I was thinking about you," can reopen doors you thought were closed and remind someone that they matter. And if you're healing emotionally, you don't need to unpack your entire past in one journal session. Write one sentence about what you feel today. That's all. One true sentence can be the beginning of deeper self-awareness and emotional clarity. Individually, these steps might seem insignificant, almost too small to matter, but that's their strength. Because they're so small, they're easy to do. They're hard to resist. And when you repeat them daily or weekly, they accumulate into real measurable progress. That's why I say, if it's too small to fail, it's small enough to succeed. And that's exactly where momentum begins, at the intersection of ease and consistency. Science backs this up. Behavioral psychology has repeatedly shown that people who start with micro goals, tiny, actionable tasks, are far more likely to sustain long-term habits. These micro goals reduce friction. They eliminate the internal resistance that comes with big commitments and overwhelming plans. Why is that so effective? Because success, even in small amounts, is addictive in the best way. When you accomplish something, even something as seemingly insignificant as writing a sentence or doing 5 push-ups, you experience a microdose of confidence. That tiny win tells your brain, "I can do this," and that belief propels you forward. James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, puts it best. You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. In other words, big dreams don't drive consistent action, solid systems do. And what are the best systems made of? Small, repeatable, non-negotiable actions. You don't need to change your entire life in one sweeping gesture. You don't need to wait for motivation, a perfect plan, or some magical breakthrough. What you need is 1 inch, chosen wisely and practiced consistently. That's how real change happens, not with noise but with quiet repetition, not with hype but with humble action. So instead of obsessing over the miles you haven't traveled yet, focus on the next inch that's right in front of you. It may not feel like much in the moment, but trust me, inches, stacked over time, build a life you'll be proud of. So here's the takeaway. Stop planning a perfect version of your life that exists only in theory. Start doing what's easy again and again until it becomes your reality. When you're stuck, overwhelmed, or lost, don't ask yourself, "What's the best version of me?" Ask instead, "What's the easiest next action I can take?" Make it laughably simple, then do it, and do it again tomorrow. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. You're not giving up on your dreams, you're laying the foundation for them to grow. Because at the end of the day, people don't fail from doing too little, they fail from trying to do too much all at once. The winners in life aren't the ones who aim for perfect, they're the ones who aim for possible. So forget the fantasy, choose the easy thing. Do it today, do it again tomorrow. And keep doing it until it becomes who you are. I hope you found this video helpful. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to hit the like button. It might seem like a small thing, but because of how the YouTube algorithm works, videos with more likes tend to get shown to more people. So your like really helps this video reach others who might need it too. And if you find my content valuable, consider subscribing. It really helps more people discover it. Thanks for watching, and I wish you and your family good health and peace. See you in the next video.